Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing some brief thoughts on episode 11 of the anime series, Akuno Hana. And this was an interesting episode, quite along the same lines as last week's episode was interesting, although last week's kind of stymied me with some unexpected twists and turns. But this episode pretty much picks up right where we left off. We have Kasuga, Seiki, and Nakamura, respectively, in the back of a cop car. They're being brought home. Seiki's parents have called the precinct or whatever, trying to find out where she is. They're going to go pick her up. And then you have, a very interesting sort of relationship going on between Kasuga and his parents. His mother is on the brink of a nervous breakdown, crying her eyes out, pleading and saying, she thinks they raised him wrong and all this stuff. And he's just very silent and internal. His father is not really angry at him, but is just kind of in a sort of mild scolding way, saying, think about what you've done, son. And so we jump ahead an entire month. I mean, that was kind of unexpected, and it's summertime, and basically Kasuga's doing laps in the pool. We see Nakamura, rebelling it up, floating in the pool, devil may care, which is somewhat comical, I have to admit, the way she goes up to the coach and rips off his whistle and everything and just storms off after cursing at him. Typical Nakamura behavior, basically. But Kasuga has a different sort of mindset. I mean, he's really on the precipice of almost, I don't know, being suicidal maybe. I mean, he's thinking to himself about just withering away and dying because he doesn't fit into this town the way he sees it anymore. And there's a confrontation between Seiki and her friend and Kasuga. The friend basically brings Seiki to confront him and says, with the deviant that's rolling around and, Seiki could be in danger, where are you? Where are you, the boyfriend, and all this stuff? And we have an official sort of breaking up between them. They come to the agreement that they're going to break up in a similar means to them sharing their confession earlier on. And it's just very interesting, the dichotomy between these two characters and the relationship, how, they were basically dating for what? A day. They were officially boyfriend and girlfriend for a couple days, maybe, and they only went out once, and even then they weren't really kind of on a date either. It's just a weird relationship, how seriously they're taking it, and there really hasn't been much between them. Now you have Kasuga go home, and we have the sequel to the long, drawn-out, excruciating walking that we had a few episodes back, only this time it's a dream sequence, and it gets very surreal. They ramp up the color palette, reds and purples. You see the flowers that basically look identical to what's on the cover of the book of poetry, The Flowers of Evil by Baudelaire, showing up all over the place, and you see Kasuga confronting Nakamura. She's disappointed in him in his dream. This is his dream sort of interpretation of their relationship. And so he wakes up and he's all schizo. He's like, I realize what I've done. I've upset Nakamura. I've let her down. I've got to be there for her. And it's almost as if he's suddenly grasping onto the thread that he must be romantically infatuated with Nakamura, which is an interesting thing because, of course, it all seems to stem from the fact that she was pushing him and challenging him. Even though it was in a negative connotation, it was still the kind of challenge that, you're going to kind of sort of just perk up by, when you are challenged in such a way where romance is part of the factor. It just pushes you to do things you wouldn't have thought possible. And in this case, he wants to become a deviant and basically embrace that side of himself. So it's just really strange, and I can't wait to see how this is all going to come to a close in a couple episodes. And I can't even imagine what's going to happen next. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you think is going to happen next. No spoilers for those who have read the manga, please. And otherwise, that'll be it for me. So I'll catch you later. Peace.